Imagine pressing your gas pedal to pass another car, but instead of a surge of power, your engine feels flat and lifeless, and suddenly that dreaded check engine light pops onto your dashboard. If you have pulled a P0045 code, you were dealing with a turbocharger or supercharger boost control A circuit open. This sounds like a mouthful, but let's break it down in plain English so you can figure out what is going on under your hood. Essentially, your car's computer, known as the PCM, is trying to talk to the solenoid that controls your turbo's boost, but the line is dead. The A in the code tells us the issue is in the electrical circuit itself, not necessarily that the turbo is blown, which is good news. Whether you're driving a Ford, Toyota, or a Chevy Duramax, this generic powertrain code applies to you if you have forced induction. Your turbo or supercharger is basically an air pump designed to shove more oxygen into the engine for better power. On modern vehicles, we often see variable geometry turbocharger, or VGT for short. These are clever pieces of engineering that have adjustable vanes around the turbine. Think of them like the flaps on an airplane wing. They open and close to change the boost pressure independent of how fast your engine is spinning. When you're cruising, they might be open, but when you demand power, the computer commands a solenoid to adjust them. That's where our problem lies. The PCM has detected a break in the wiring or the solenoid coil itself, meaning it cannot control those vanes or the wastegate on a traditional turbo. This is serious because it can lead to underboost, where your car feels sluggish, or worse, overboost, which can cause detonation and destroy your engine internal. So how do you tackle this without throwing parts at it? First, pop the hood and take a good look at the turbocharger and the control solenoid. You're looking for the obvious stuff, like loose connectors, wires that might have melted against the hot exhaust, or vacuum lines that have cracked or popped off. If everything looks tidy, you need to get a bit more technical. The best way to test this is with a bidirectional scan tool. With the engine running, you can command the boost control solenoid to open and close. Rev the engine up to about 1,200 RPM and toggle that solenoid on and off with your scanner. You should hear the engine note change and the RPM should fluctuate. If the engine speed changes, your solenoid and wiring are likely okay and you might be looking at a sensor issue. But if the RPM stays rock steady even when you command the solenoid, you've likely found your culprit. It's either the solenoid itself, the wiring leading to it, or the turbo is physically jammed. To be sure, grab a multimeter. You want to test for power and ground at the solenoid connector while it's commanded on. If you're missing power or ground, you have a wiring break somewhere between the computer and the turbo. If you have power and ground but the solenoid does not click, the solenoid is dead. You can also check the internal resistance of the solenoid with your own meter and compare it to the factory specs. Do not ignore this code because driving with uncontrolled boost is a quick way to turn a minor repair into a major engine rebuild.